What's going on, everybody? Payneblade back here again with another Genshin Impact Showcase, and today, guys, we're going to be covering Mona. That's right, this is my fourth 5-star, and actually Mona is my third maxed out and was my first one that I got to full constellation. And what I want to do today, guys, is kind of go over everything that Mona offers you as a support character. Yes, that's right, as a support character, as well as a damage dealer, and why she's such a great character and what she can do for your roster and your team. Now, the first thing I want to do, guys, is cover Mona's actual stats and how you want to build her. Now, Mona's skills are based off of her energy recharge and her hydro damage. You can build her crit rate as well and give her some attack, but ideally hydro damage and energy recharge is going to be your bread and butter for her. Now, the reason why is all of her attacks are actually hydro damage attacks. So there is no hydro set out, but you can get one piece of hydro damage in terms of your goblet, and please try to focus on that and get that up as soon as you can. And then from there, you want to build her energy recharge because her elemental skill / her elemental burst costs quite a bit, and you want to be able to get that back up as soon as possible and get it running. Now, the other thing you want to do is give her some attack, of course, if you're going to make her bursty, and then give her some critical rate and critical damage. I've actually built her a different way, and I'll show you shortly through the artifacts, and we'll go through that as well. So mainly, guys, energy recharge and hydro damage bonus, including attack, is the way to go for her. Alright, so let's get out of here and actually look at her weapons. Now I'm going to show you what weapon I'm currently using and what I will be switching to, and then the best 4-star weapon if you are looking to get one of those, okay? So currently I have the Skyward Atlas. Now the reason why I have this, obviously, the refinement is number 4. It does raise her attack, so it gives her a little bit more oomph in terms of her attacks, and it also increases her elemental damage bonus by 21%. Her normal attacks have a 50% chance to earn the favor of the clouds, which actively seek out nearby enemies and cause an attack for 15 seconds, dealing 280% attack damage, and this can only occur every 30 seconds. So it's great for the elemental damage bonus, and it also offers you an extra bonus attack every 30 seconds, and obviously the attack boost is great. Now that's her second best book, probably. Her first best book is actually the one I'm going to be switching it to, and I'll show you shortly which one that is, and that is going to be this 5-star book, The Lost Prayer to the Sacred Winds. Now, the reason why this is better for her is she's a kiting character. She's meant to actually be faster, so she can avoid attacks, and she can summon her elemental skill to taunt, and then she can keep firing at enemies while she's running away. Now, the reason why this also helps out a lot more is when she's in battle, she earns a 10% elemental damage bonus stack every 4 seconds, maximum 4 stacks, so that increases her elemental damage by 40%. Lasts until the character falls or leaves combat. So you want to, this is the book that I'm going to be focusing on getting up first and foremost. And then if you're looking at a 4-star book, guys, a really good 4-star book is called The White Sith, and I'll show you here, or The Wit Sith, I apologize. And this one here actually offers you crit damage as a substat, bonus obviously the base attack, but this one here actually gives you a amazing buff. So when a character takes the field, they will gain a random theme song for 10 seconds. This can only occur once every 30 seconds, but here's what the bonuses are. So if you're going to build her as a main support, she can, with this book, will even make her better. So the attack is increased by 120%, increases all elemental damage by 96%, and interlude increases elemental mastery by 480. So one of those random songs will pop every 30 seconds, making you and the rest of your party hit that much stronger. So that, in my opinion, is probably her next best book. And then, of course, you can also sell for something like the Eye of the Perception, which does more, which is essentially giving you a 50% chance to fire a bolt of damage, which does 360% attack of damage. This bolt can bounce between enemies a maximum of 4 times, and it occurs every 8 seconds. So a great way to add more AoE to your already AoE heavy skill set. And then, of course, the sacrificial fragments. If you're looking to use your elemental skill more often, if you max this out, I think it starts at 20%, and max out it gives you 80%. So you can cast your AoE taunting elemental spirit that much more often. So those are probably the best books for her 4-star and 5-star. All right, let's jump into artifacts. Now, I built her 2 different ways because I mentioned to you guys there are no hydro sets yet in terms of an actual 4-piece set. What I've done is I've done the Gambler and the Noblesse. Now, the Gambler actually increases her elemental skill damage by 20%, and that's her biggest damage dealing effect anyway. So to increase it by 20% was a no-brainer. And then, of course, her elemental burst is actually used very often. It does take a long time to regenerate, and it is actually used very often in terms of as a support mechanism because it increases the damage of everyone that in your party when they attack and burst the bubble by an extra 56%. So this just gives it more damage than it already causes. And I believe the damage is like 610%, something ridiculously high. So you're adding that extra burst damage in there to help her out. Now, as you can see here, my items are not leveled. I've been focusing on people like Diluc right now to get all of his artifacts done. There's Venti, who I'm actually working on right now, completing. There's also Chi-Chi, who I have to work on. So there's quite a bit of artifacts here, but I've got my catching all done. So artifacts do take a lot of time, guys, and it does take a lot of resources. So she will be my next focus. The only one I think I got up is this one here. But everything else is at 0. So when you watch the showcase video, keep that in the back of your head that I haven't completed her, but she still does incredible damage and support. All right, so let's actually talk about her talents. So the normal attack, Ripple of Fate. Now, as I mentioned before, you want to build her hydro damage heavy because all of her attacks are literally all hydro damage. She has no physical attacks. And what essentially does, so normal attack is a four-time combo of all hydro damage. Her charge attack, on the other hand, she consumes 50 stamina and does an AoE damage, and it does a ton of damage, guys. So this is a really, really important attack for her. And then plunging attack, of course, she lands and does an AoE hydro damage as well, too, to everybody nearby. And you can kind of see where the damage scale is. Her charge attack damage is 187%, which is a lot. So that is her bread and butter for damage. The rest of them, still really good for kiting purposes. All right, let's jump into the Mirror Reflection of Doom. Now, this is her actual elemental skill, and it's a fantastic one. So she essentially summons a phantom on the field. It continuously taunts enemies that are nearby, making them focus on him instead. If you don't know what a taunt is, it focuses on the element rather than you, so it draws all of their attention. And then it also deals AoE damage, hydro damage around them. And then when it's done, when the spirit expires, it actually blows up and deals AoE hydro damage to everybody. Now, if you hold the button instead, she actually ends up moving back, creating a phantom, which is very important, guys. And when she creates a phantom of herself, she also summons the elemental spirit, so it's a great way to evade attacks. And the phantoms actually boost her damage with her constellation. So phantoms are very important in this for her specifically. All right, and as you can see here, the dot itself is 44.8%. That's the actual regular attack that the spirit does, and then the 186% is the actual damage it does when it explodes and it expires. All right, so fantastic move. Illusionary Torrent. Mona cloaks herself within the water flows, consumes stamina to move rapidly. When under the effect of Illusionary Torrent, Mona can move at high speeds on water, applies the wet status to nearby enemies when she reappears. So it's a great way to cause the wet status. She also can she can also travel underwater. So if you're not looking to swim and you have her on your team, she goes through water really quickly. So if you're looking to avoid that whole swim thing, just use her and go right through water, guys, and it actually takes less stamina. And at the same time, this is actually great in battle because she can move around quicker. And at the same time, when she pops up, she causes the wet status, which you can obviously elemental mastery with other characters and cause elemental reactions. So a great little thing. It's actually really hard to get used to. You're used to tapping sprint, but with this one, you actually have to kind of hold it. If you tap it, she doesn't go very far. So keep that in mind when using her. All right, so let's jump into her burst, elemental burst. Stellar's Phantasm. So this one here actually traps opponents inside of a pocket, so it's like a prison, and it gives them wet status, and they sit in that prison until they blow up. And when they blow up, it does a ton of damage. But not only that, guys, it applies an omen to the opponent, which gives a damage bonus to your character. Now, if you want to see what that damage bonus is, there it is right there, 52%. So everyone that will be touching those characters that you've pocketed inside this burst, not only will they take insane 619% damage, they'll also take 52% damage for 4.5 seconds. All right, so that is a ton of damage, guys. So definitely focus on swapping in your bigger, heavier characters that are hard hitting, like Catching or Diluc, and start doing a ton of damage with that, or even Razor or Fischl, right? So fantastic support with that regard. She increases everyone's damage by a ton. So this is what I mean by she's a great support and a great DPS character, and you'll see that in my showcase. Now, Come and Get Me Hag is after she uses Illusionary Torrent for 2 seconds. If their enemies are nearby, Mona will automatically create a phantom. Now, Illusionary Torrent is her underwater move, so her sprint essentially. So if enemies nearby, she'll create a phantom. They attack the phantom, they don't focus on her, and at the same time, when she pops up, it does 50% of. After 2 seconds, it explodes and does 50% of the damage of Mirror Reflection of Doom, which is essentially her skill here, which is her elemental spirit. So her sprint actually does some damage as well too if you're nearby other enemies. All right, now Waterborne Destiny increases Mona's hydro damage by a degree equivalent to 20% of her energy recharge rate, And this is what I was talking about. This is why it's important to have a lot of energy recharge rate for her, because she does a ton of damage with the more that she has. Plus, it'll help her do her burst more often, which will help your characters all together. All right, and lastly, her passive is essentially a talent to give you 25% chance refund of crafting materials when they're being used. All right, so there you go. So not only is she a great burst damage character, but she's also a fantastic support. And again, watch the showcase and you guys will see it all in there. All right, let's talk about her constellations. Now, I did mention she is maxed out for me. So the Prophecy of Submersion essentially gives her an ability to cause better elemental reactions. So when she does a hydro-related elemental reaction, she enhances all of the attacks that combine with it for 8 seconds. So for example, electric charge damage is increased by 15%. So catching, razor, fish will all be doing 15% more damage with their electric moves. Vaporize, so someone like Diluc, who will do fire damage, is increased by 15%. Hydro Swirl, so someone like Venti, will do 15%, or the main character, the Traveler. And then Duration of Ice is also 15% too. So she increases everyone's abilities and enhances them to either cause a better crowd control move or just more damage overall. All right, so Lunar Chain. Now, when she does her regular attacks, with this dupe, she'll actually have a 20% chance without taking up any stamina to do an AoE charge attack, and this can happen every 5 seconds. So fantastic, fantastic move, especially if you're kiting and you're trying to just kill somebody fast. This dupe here is definitely worth it. This does a ton of damage, and its unexpected damage just comes out of nowhere. All right, the third one, as we know, increases her burst by 3 levels, so increasing the damage and every other stat along with it. Prophecy of Oblivion, when a character attacks an enemy affected by Omen status, that's her burst, by the way, that's their critical rate is increased by 15%. So not only is she giving you 50% damage, 52% damage with her burst, now she's also increasing your crit by 15% whenever you're hitting somebody with that Omen. Omens last before 4.5 seconds, so you have 4.5 seconds of an extra 15% crit. All right, and then her fifth skill, of course, gives her 3 more levels for her elemental skill. And then the last one, upon entering Illusionary Torrent, Mona gains a 60% increase to her damage of her next charge attack per second of movement. So what this means, guys, is whenever she does her underwater sprint, she can max damage increase by 180%. And the moment she pops out and she does her charge, it does that much more damage. So you can do up to 360% damage with your charge attack. So your sprint is actually a great way when you max her out to do a lot more burst damage with her charge. So keep that in mind, and this effect lasts for almost 8 seconds, no longer than that, so you do have to take advantage of it whenever you can. So there you go, guys. There you have it. This is one of the best and most unique characters, and one of the hardest characters to play. I'm not going to lie to you. She's actually very, very hard to use. So start practicing her sprint, start building her the right way, and start using her as a support as well as a damage dealer, and you'll see insane amount of rewards come out of using Mona the proper way with the proper team. So guys, enjoy the showcase, and we're about to put it on for you. Check out the damage from all the characters, including herself. And if you guys have any questions, you know how to get a hold of me. Shoot up some comments in the comment section. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. This is Payne. Have a wonderful day.